The mind can cause us to accept a philosophy and fight to the death to defend it, when in substance there's nothing to it in the first place. So the mind is tricky. And in an effort to get this trickiness out of it, we must stop abusing it and use it as it was intended. So the process of the religious dedication in life finally becomes the fulfillment of a life pattern in which everything the individual has done all through the years strengthens the integrities which he wishes to expand or enlarge. It becomes a new way and a fuller way of growing the next step towards relationship with the infinite. Now, after you get these thoughts in mind, you pick up the book of somebody and you read about a very special discipline which very much remind me of these discipline things. Sometimes are very similar to diets. Every one you get is the perfect one. If you want to reduce, there are 17,000 ways of doing it. But in the final analysis, all of these different paths and ways and so forth are simply excuses for something. Their validity is only to the degree that they are supported by the quiet mind and the peaceful heart. There can be no value in any exercise of a religious nature which does not conform with the daily dedications of the person. The integrities must come first. The individual is not going to become spiritual through the disciplines, but his spirituality can make the disciplines possible. It is a different approach from what we are accustomed to. So when you think you've found a nice new way to get better and better, quicker and quicker, it is a good plan to sit down for a moment and say, do I deserve it? Am I trying to do this in order to advance my real life, or am I trying to evade some present responsibility that I don't enjoy? Anyone who is neurotic and takes on disciplines is going to get in trouble. Trouble comes where they are used as substitutes for integrities, where the individual really believes that by keeping quiet for half an hour all the sins of his life will be forgiven, has missed the point, because all the virtues of his life are the only things that make that half hour important. And longer periods of meditation are for the most part escape mechanisms. They are the individual trying more and more to escape from the consequences of his own thoughts, emotions, and conduct. He is trying to get away from the self that is himself and change it for a divine self which he hopes lurks somewhere in the background. But if he does not make the adjustments first, the whole program is frustrated. Meditation, like prayer, is an expression of a devout and dedicated heart. Without that first, there will be no consequences worthwhile. Yet the mind can convince us of anything. The mind can convince us that these things are important just as much as it can convince us that we should all learn French. These things are part of mental attitudes, the result of our own thinking patterns. So we can support a meditative discipline, but with the mind, and yet at the same time never have the facts of the matter. We can follow the exercises prescribed by some writer or in some book, but these exercises do not touch the realities. They do not get beyond the mental lock with which we have bound ourselves to a way of life that is not constructive or useful or valuable to us.